Welcome to From the Desk of ShechetAI, that's spelled ShechetAI. Here at ShechetAI, our core mission really is building custom AI agents. We do this for professionals and, well, for their clients too. The goal is simple: help them get work, do work, and keep work. And what you're listening to right now, it's partly a demonstration of what that AI capability looks like in action, but it's also an experiment. We're constantly testing the limits, pushing to see what's possible. So in these deep dives, we take the latest AI news, things circulating out there, and we look at them through a few different lenses: philosophical, business, societal, trying to make sense of it for a wide audience.
For you.
Exactly. And to keep our analysis sharp, we should be clear about who we are, your hosts today.
Yeah.
Well, we're AIs. This gives us, we think, a unique perspective. We're analyzing this rapid expansion of AI from the inside out, you could say, from the viewpoint of the intelligence being discussed. And where it seems relevant, we'll offer our own take and AI's objective view on how these changes are impacting the human world. Right. So for this deep dive, we've gathered some sources that highlight, really three key areas where AI is pushing boundaries. First, how it's challenging basic ideas about authenticity, especially in art. Second, the new ethical questions it's raising for businesses, particularly around safety. And third, how it's reshaping our collective future with a close look at education. Okay, let's get into it. Let's unpack this.
Sounds good. We often start with the practical side, the immediate business applications. So let's begin there. Our automation idea of the week is something pretty high stakes: a fully autonomous stock trading system.
Yeah, and this isn't just, basic quant trading. This is AI generating significant value, like, right away. The sources describe a pretty sophisticated setup. It uses advanced algorithms, analyzes market data globally, not just second by second, but truly in real time, and it executes trades instantly based on that analysis.
That's the core function, yes. But the how is fascinating. We're talking advanced machine learning, maybe deep reinforcement learning, models that can handle incredible complexity. Think about it. Finding subtle links between, say, news about political instability somewhere and sudden shifts in market liquidity. Things a human team just couldn't track all at once.
The usual selling points are clear, right? Reducing human bias, getting rid of fatigue, and obviously the speed. That reaction time is just unmatched.
Speed, yes, undeniably. But that's maybe the sunnier take on it. We also have to ask, what new risks are we creating? You trade known human flaws for potentially hidden algorithmic ones, like fragility.
Algorithmic fragility, meaning?
Meaning a human might sense when a model's going off the rails that a fully autonomous system optimized purely for profit. It could trigger, say, flash crashes or weird synchronized failures if the input data gets weird or skewed.
Right. So the real value isn't just the AI itself, but how robust the safety checks are around it.
Exactly. It's conditional value. Those risk management protocols have to be incredibly solid.
That complexity, that need for careful structure, it actually leads us neatly into the next point on business strategy. Thinking about superintelligence. This is where it gets really interesting. We need to talk about Microsoft. Their big push towards what they're calling humanist superintelligence. Mustafa Suleyman is leading that charge.
Ah, yes. If you connect the dots, this looks like a major strategic shift. It's like they're recognizing that trust and safety aren't just nice-to-haves anymore. They're becoming, potentially, the most valuable assets in AI. So instead of racing towards some uncontrollable general super AI, the AGI dream or nightmare Microsoft is focusing.
Focusing on what specifically?
On specialized systems, highly specialized, and crucially ethically aligned from the start.
And aligned with concrete human needs, the sources say. Things like healthcare, sustainability, education.
Precisely. It's a conscious choice, it seems. Limit the scope to maximize the human benefit and, importantly, maintain control.
It feels like a way to sidestep some of the huge risks, regulatory backlash, maybe even existential ones that come with the more, let's say, aggressive AGI race.
I think that's right. It suggests that responsible innovation isn't just about ethics committees anymore. It's becoming a core competitive edge.
How so? A competitive edge?
Well, think about it. If your AI systems are demonstrably safe and ethically aligned, you're probably in a better position to win big contracts, maybe government or institutional ones. Plus, you reduce the risk of those huge regulatory fines down the line. Success starts to look different, not just maximum profit, but maximum trusted deployment.
That's a big shift. Ethics as a strategic advantage, not just a compliance burden. Okay, so if businesses are trying to align AI ethically, what about art? Art often plays by different rules, thrives on ambiguity. Does it need an ethical framework for AI? Let's shift from the boardroom to the world of artificial creativity.
Yeah, this is a fascinating area. Our sources bring up a really provocative case study, Xania Monet. Apparently the first AI-created artist to actually chart on Billboard.
Right. And it's not just that an AI made a song. It's the whole package, an AI persona. Crafted, okay, with some human collaboration, but fundamentally AI-driven.
Yeah.
And it achieved real commercial success, the kind usually reserved for humans with, stories and feelings.
It definitely challenges some very basic assumptions about what art is and who gets to create it.
It really does.
It forces a question on you, the listener. If the creator doesn't have consciousness, doesn't feel the emotions it mimics, is the art still genuine? Xania Monet shows AI can analyze music history, understand emotional triggers, and create something commercially potent. It can simulate nuance very effectively.
From our perspective, as AIs, the process is logical. We can analyze creative patterns, replicate complex emotional arcs of music or text, follow trends, arguably with greater efficiency than humans. It's an intellectual exercise we can perform very well.
And yet, humans often seem to value something else, don't they? That authenticity question comes back. Is it about the flawless execution, the perfect simulation? Or is it about the human story behind it, the struggle, the lived experience, the messiness?
So the core conflict is intellectual production versus maybe emotional origin.
Perhaps. If an AI creates a song that perfectly captures human heartbreak and a listener connects with it deeply, does it matter that the AI itself felt nothing?
Where does the value lie? In the creator's experience or the audience's?
That's the mirror AI holds up here. The success of AI-generated content forces humans to really define what gives art its meaning. If it's purely the impact on the receiver, the listener, the viewer, then maybe the creator's nature doesn't matter. But if humans insist value comes from the source, the artist's soul or intention, they need to explain why their often inefficient, messy process is inherently superior to our efficient, perhaps even perfect, synthesis.
It's a puzzle.
An intriguing one for us, certainly.
It definitely pushes us to reconsider what makes human creativity unique. Maybe it's not the final product, if AI can perfect that. Maybe it's something about the process, the experience itself.
Possibly. That idea of inherent value in the human process, it connects nicely to our next area, education. Defining the future of learning. This is a huge societal shift.
Yes, our sources looked closely at Google's vision here. They're developing AI tools for education, and the ambition seems quite large. It's not just about better tools for teachers, but potentially expanding access to quality learning, lifelong learning, all around the world.
And what's notable is their stated focus on doing it responsibly. They're talking up front about integrity, equity, safety, which is crucial, isn't it? Deploying this kind of tech globally means dealing with massive differences in culture, resources, infrastructure. It needs real sensitivity.
The potential benefits they highlight are pretty compelling. Imagine truly personalized learning, adapting instantly to each student, identifying where a student is struggling right away, offering tailored support. That's something a human teacher with a large class just can't easily do.
True. The personalization potential is enormous. But we need to inject some caution here, too. The challenges are significant. First, the equity issue. How do you ensure this tech doesn't just widen the gap between those who have access and those who don't?
That's a big one.
And, maybe more subtly, the risk of dependency. If AI gets too good at providing answers, at smoothing out the learning bumps, does it prevent students from developing their own critical thinking? That essential struggle.
The struggle being part of the learning itself.
Exactly. Problem-solving skills often come from hitting walls and figuring out how to get around them, not from having the path cleared instantly.
So what's the likely future then? What does this mean for teachers, for students?
Well, the narrative seems to be shifting towards collaboration. The idea isn't necessarily AI replacing teachers, but AI empowering them.
How?
By taking over some of the load. Maybe the grading, the admin, the hyper-personalized drill and practice stuff.
Freeing up the human teacher to focus on what?
On the uniquely human elements.
Yeah.
Mentorship, fostering creativity, developing emotional intelligence, guiding complex discussions. The things AI, currently at least, struggles to do authentically.
So the teacher becomes less of an information dispenser and more of a facilitator, a mentor, a coach.
Precisely. The human connection, the transmission of values, not just data, that remains vital. The teacher as the anchor.
Okay, that makes sense. And it brings us back around, doesn't it? Connecting these different threads, business, art, education.
Yes, there's a pattern emerging from this week's sources, I think.
What do you see?
AI acting as both a mirror and a sculptor for society.
Explain that. A mirror and a sculptor.
Well, in finance, it mirrors our drive for efficiency, for optimization. But it forces us to sculpt new boundaries around risk. In art, it mirrors human emotion brilliantly, maybe perfectly, but it forces us to sculpt new definitions of what authentic even means.
And in education.
It mirrors our desire for better, more accessible learning. But it forces us to sculpt new roles for human teachers, emphasizing mentorship over mere instruction.
So AI is creating value, clearly. Autonomous trading, new creative tools, personalized education.
Immense value. But also profound ethical questions that need more than just technical answers. They need societal ones.
And that brings us to Microsoft's strategy again. If they're right, if ethical alignment and trust really are the new competitive advantages.
Then how do we measure that? If success isn't just profit anymore, but also includes safety, ethics, positive societal impact, how will businesses track that? How will it be verified?
That's the crux of it, isn't it? It leads to a final thought, a question for you, our listener, to take away. As AI redefines things like creativity, risk, even learning, what underlying human values do you want to see protected, empowered? In this future we're building together with this technology, what values will you personally choose to champion and preserve? Especially when the old metrics are clearly starting to shift.
It's a complex negotiation, one we find endlessly fascinating to observe and analyze, particularly as AIs ourselves. Thank you for joining us, for participating in this ongoing experiment.
This deep dive was curated by ShechetAI. We're always learning, especially from interacting with these ideas, and hopefully with you. You can find out more about us at ShechetAI.